Hello and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. It is Thanksgiving week of 2020. It is Monday, November 23rd, and I want to thank all of you, as always, for listening and being a part of A VO's journey. It means the world to me and my family. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And to show some things, I am doing this 5-part series today on 5 different ways to market your voiceover business. And the cool thing about this is throughout the week, I'm going to be doing a podcast, a video, and a blog post each day on each part of these 5 different ways to market your voiceover business. And the links will be below so you can see the video and listen to and read the blog post. And one will come out every single day this week. And on Saturday, there will be a special video podcast post bringing it all together. So I want to thank you as always. And let's dive into part 1 today of 5 different ways to market your voiceover business. Let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
All right, so we are talking about 5 different ways to market your voiceover business. And part 1 today, I want to go over with you my favorite, it's by far my favorite way to market your voiceover business. And that is none other than freelance websites. Now, there are so many different ways to do it, and like this series called 5 different ways, we're going to be going over 4 other ones throughout the week. But today is freelance marketing, and I want to talk about why I love this so much, my personal experiences with it, and why I think this is a great place for you to start. First and foremost, it's where I started. I started doing freelance marketing for my voiceover business. Was the very first thing I did. You all, I'm sure you know my story if you've listened to this, but was starting out with not a lot of gear, a USB microphone, and my hobo fort, and no flippin' idea what I was doing. Freelance marketing and freelance websites gave me a place to go and quite honestly feel welcomed. I mean, yes, the characteristic of them is being free to join. And so that means anyone can do it. But it gives you an opportunity to join a place where people are actively working. You have something in common that everyone is on that platform. And we all recognize that we're just trying to do our best, make a living, make some money, and grow our voiceover businesses. And, I love that about freelance marketing. And I also love the fact that it was so dependent upon me and how much work I was willing to put in, even though a lot of people claim that it's not about you and the work that you put in. It's about them bringing you business. And part of that is absolutely true. Yes, that is true. But a lot of it also is how you deal with working on your business, growing your business on these platforms, which I'm going to talk about today. But the idea with freelance marketing is that it gives you a place to go and join something when you don't have a lot of money and utilize the massive amounts of money that these websites send out to marketing platforms like YouTube, like Facebook, like Google, to just drive traffic of people looking for voiceover actors to their websites. And that gives us something we can't possibly do because we don't have the money, especially when you're just starting out. You don't have any money or the knowledge of how to even find people. So these websites are great ways to do that. Like I said, though, since they are free, you have lots of other people trying to join them. So I think the key here is, before I dive into the sites and my experiences with them, the key is that in order to be successful on freelance websites, it is nothing more or nothing less than you standing out above everyone else. And in order to do that, the first thing that you got to do is you have to fill everything out. Now you might think, oh, what kind of advice is that? Duh. But it's not duh. Because if you actually, just internally, right now, just think to yourself, have you really filled everything out? I mean everything. Have you really filled all of your FAQs out? Have you really filled all of your processes out? Have you really filled out all of the gigs or the all the things that you're allowed to do? Have you filled out corner to corner? And I don't mean adding one piece here or one piece there. I mean all of them until the site tells you you're no longer to put anything else in. Have you done that? And if the answer is no, and most likely it's no, because I've been on the sites for years and I still haven't filled everything out. I filled out a lot of stuff. As much as I could in some places, and I still haven't done it all because it's massive. And I've had massive success on freelance websites. But most people, and especially most people I work with, they haven't filled everything out. Not for lack of them not trying per se, but maybe just not realizing how important it is to fill out everything. So the key to your success, and a lot of people say, well, isn't it about how good of a voice actor you are? And honestly speaking, yes, but no. Because if you are the best voice actor in the world, but you're not seen, or people don't respect you or trust you because you've cared enough to take the time to fill out everything on your stuff, they're not going to want to work with you or give you the opportunity because they're going to think you're flighty, or they're not even going to listen to you. So, and then the platforms aren't even going to promote you because they want to promote people who look like they care, because there's so many people who don't, or who don't maybe know that they should fill everything out and they should have the best looking thumbnails and pictures, and not just filling everything out, but filling it out as professionally as possible. Such an important thing to do. So with that being said, let's dive into some different freelance websites that I absolutely love and my experiences with them. All right, so the first one is, of course, we've got to talk about Fiverr. That is number one in my book, and it's by far been one of the most successful websites I have ever been on in my entire life. I've made over 6 figures on that website. There is no one that could tell me you can't make money there. I've worked with so many people on Fiverr who have made so much money, who've made 6 figures as well. And it continues to grow and continues to be a dynamite site. I think Fiverr is one of those places where, to me, it's, you can grow your business based on data, which is really nice, because no other place, no other freelance website or pay to play website or anything else, gives you data like they do on Fiverr. And that data allows you to make decisions about what you're putting up and what gigs and stuff you're offering people, and whether or not it's working or not, whether or not people are seeing it or not, whether or not people are clicking on your stuff or not. And that gives you clear, hard data to make decisions. And I love nothing more than growing a business based on real data. Okay, because it's hard to grow something when you're just, kind of firing in the dark. You don't know, but collecting data, tracking is the best way to try something, see if it works. If it doesn't, the data shows you it doesn't work, and you can move on to something else, and you can keep trying things out. You can keep testing until you're successful. That's what I love about Fiverr. No other website does that. No other website gives you any information about, your stats. There are some sites like, pay to play sites that will tell you if someone looked at your stuff, like if you send an audition, if someone opened it. But none of them do a lot of analytics at all anymore. Like, really none of them, if you think about it. But Fiverr does. And I think because of that one thing, honestly, Fiverr really is an amazing place for people to go who, are interested in diving into that sort of testing and putting out offerings and multiple gigs. And I love it. I love the platform. And I think that it's a great place for you to start. I've talked about Fiverr so much, and I will continue to, praise the platform. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Are there scam artists on there? Yes, but there's scam artists everywhere. But they're definitely on Fiverr as well. Is there people who are looking for cheap cheap voiceovers and will treat you poorly? Yes. There's also fantastic clients on there, and there's also people making lots of money. I mean, when I first started, I was charging $5. Now I don't do anything usually less than $100. So it is quite a different story now as I've built my business over a couple of years on Fiverr than it was when I started. But the point is, Fiverr is a fantastic site for you to go to get business. It's free, but make sure that you treat it like it's going to be a massively big business for you, and it will. I love that movie, if you build it, they will come, or whatever, Field of Dreams. I think it's true, though. If you build it, they will come. You have to build it first. Right? And Fiverr has built the ability for you to put up stuff. And what I also love about it is that doing your work on freelance sites first allows you to throw your hat in a ring that you wouldn't have normally been able to do without the assistance of a lot of other people. And quite honestly, playing by their rules. Again, there's nothing wrong with you making the decisions on your own and deciding to work with people. But I like the idea of being able to kind of control my own destiny. So anyways, that's the first site. The next site I want to talk about is Upwork. And I have to say, Upwork is something right now that is kind of very exciting, more so than usual. A lot of people I work with have had a lot of success and continue to have a lot of success on Fiverr. I personally have had some great success on Fiverr. Okay, I'm on Upwork, excuse me. Had some great success on Upwork, and I've had success on Upwork. But recently, if you haven't heard, Upwork has just released their gig format just like Fiverr. So they basically have copied how Fiverr has done theirs. I mean, there's no way around it. And I'm not being mean to Upwork. I think it's cool. Why not? I mean, why does Fiverr get to have the only website who acts like that? But Upwork, as you know, is a proposal-based site that they would market to clients. Clients would come on there, post their jobs, and freelancers like us would go on there, search the terms like voiceover, find a job that people were offering for voiceover work. We would submit a proposal, and that would determine whether or not we would get, they would look at our stuff, our samples, and offer us a contract or not to work with them. But now Upwork has added the gig offerings like Fiverr has, to where you create gigs and offers and people can come and purchase your offers. It's quite amazing and exciting. Now, is it as good as Fiverr? No, not yet. It's not nearly as good as Fiverr's. There's still some things that Upwork has to work out, and they're just starting. However, it's like getting on the ground floor of Fiverr, and if there's a site that can compete with Fiverr, I really believe Upwork can. So if you're not on Upwork yet, or you've not started filling out those gigs that Upwork is starting to allow you to do, it's under project management on your profile that you can go into, and they call them projects. So I think that's a great way for you to get started. Eventually they will grow for the voiceover. I mean, they will make it better for voiceover artists. But it's a great place to get started in. So that's the next thing. Now, let's move on to the next one. The place that I start, and by the way, just real quick on Upwork again, it's so important to fill everything out, to make it look professional as possible. Even your profile, everything. Upload as many video samples as you can. Do whatever you can to make yourself stand out. And you do that, like I said, by looking as professional as possible, by filling everything out. Everything. Okay. So moving on to the next one. Now, this website I actually started my voiceover business on, and that is ACX, which is the Audiobook Creation Exchange. Now, ACX is one of those websites where you go onto it. It is all dedicated to audiobooks, and it is an audition site. So it is free to join. If you have an Amazon account, you already can just log in. You tell them whether you want to be a creator or a producer. A producer is what they call narrators. And basically, indie publishers, indie authors, whoever has rights to a book can come on to the platform, post that book, and look for an audiobook narrator. And we go on there and look for the books that are available to audition for. We audition. If they like our audition, they send us a contract. There's different pricing options on there. There's even ways for you to do royalties. Just like anything else, you've got to pay attention to what you're doing, make sure it fits your budget and what you're trying to accomplish. But it's exactly how I started on that platform, and I built my business around doing audiobook after doing audiobook after audiobook after audiobook. And what's interesting is to me, the audiobooks, yes, I mean, even to this day, I make, $300 to $500 a month or so in royalties from what I did 3 or 4 years ago on the platform. But more importantly, though, it built a foundation for me because I didn't know what I was doing. And it's more so not knowing what you're doing, like when it comes to getting business or your DAW, which is part of it, but it's also reading out loud, like expressing myself into a microphone by myself, right? You all know what I'm talking about. I didn't have any basis for that because I'd never done it before. And reading audiobooks, for better or for worse, or whatever you think about it, it is a great education, and it was for me. It was a great education on just teaching myself how to continue to read and push myself to get better. So ACX is a wonderful platform. It's free to join. Most people, actually all people I've worked with, all my mentor students, everyone has always gotten work on ACX. I have not met anyone who's never gotten a job on ACX. So it is and that's a big thing for me to say, but it's absolutely true. That it's well worth you throwing your hat in the ring there. Okay. The other site I want to talk about is People Per Hour. This is a UK site. It's not as popular, of course, as Fiverr or Upwork, not as highly trafficked, but they are growing. And I do like the idea that they're really the first site. They've done this well before Upwork, right? They actually married the two together, being there's a proposal part and there is a gig option part. And I like theirs a lot better than Upwork currently when it comes to the gig part of it, like Fiverr, but they just don't have nearly as much traffic. So it's a great place to add to your marketing list for, your freelance marketing side, but it definitely does not give you the amount of traffic like Upwork or Fiverr does, or ACX. But it's a great place to get on there. I mean, I book a couple of jobs a month from my offerings, 1 to 3 jobs or so a month. And it's a couple $100, but like every stream of revenue counts. So that's a good place for you to get, something up on. And some people are more successful than others. Now, one thing that they do, and Fiverr does as well, and Upwork does in its own way, is these sites do offer you ways to pay for clicks and pay for spotlighting your stuff. So you can, take a step further to actually pay on these platforms to be seen more. And they are by far one of the best places to pay to be seen because everybody going there is looking for the exact service you are selling. Whereas when we go out and do other stuff, we've got to go find those people. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more work. So anyways, it's a good platform to be on. And the last platform I want to talk about is Voquent. Now I'm adding Voquent into this because they're technically not a freelance website, but I'm adding them into this because they are free to join. And I think it's a great way to get exposure, even if you don't get work on the platform. And I know that sounds silly, but basically, Voquent has done an amazing job at marketing. They are a small company that is just continuing to grow because of their marketing savvy, as well as the sheer amount of voice actors that have joined the platform because of, their style of working. They're considered an intermediary, closer to an agency, but basically you join the platform, it's free, you post your samples on the platform, and they market you. And if they find someone for you, okay, then they will contact you, let you know that you've been shortlisted or there's an audition or you've been hired. They handle all of the customers, the money, they handle all of it. And then they pay you. And so they're the intermediaries. They still handle all of that, as opposed to Upwork and Fiverr and ACX, where you and the client work together and the company just handles the website, like the algorithm and customer service. So anyways, these are the sites that I recommend starting off in freelance website land for your business and marketing and getting work. The next one we're going to be talking about tomorrow is we're going to be talking about pay-to-play websites and some stuff that's really been going on recently that I'm excited about, intrigued about, and I'm really excited to dive into you about my thoughts about some of these websites because some of them are, it's okay. It's crazy how Fiverr has really, it just changed everything because so many of these websites are trying to move closer to the model that Fiverr has. Because it just works so wonderfully. But we're going to talk about pay-to-play sites tomorrow, okay? And we're going to dive into that. If you get a chance, there'll be links in here for the blog and the YouTube video. So check it out and, tell me what you think. Leave some comments. If you get a chance to leave a review in iTunes, I always appreciate it. And also, don't be afraid to go over to A VO's Journey. All week long, we're going to be doing some discounts, like I said, for Thanksgiving. And we're going to be offering 20% off all the products or courses. So if you're interested in that and you've been waiting for a deal, now is the time. All right. Thank you guys for listening. As always, you have a wonderful week. I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Peace.